Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's Real Estate Weekly Deal Breakdown, REI Deal Breakdown. I'm your host, Greg Helbeck. Thank you for either downloading this podcast or watching on YouTube. If you're not familiar with me, my name's Greg Helbeck. I've been a full-time real estate investor now for 8 years, and I've done well over 200 properties, and I've bought properties all over the country, including the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Texas, etc. So the point of this podcast and YouTube channel is to share lessons that I've learned from the real world that I can pass on to you. So hopefully you can benefit from it. So if you get value from today's podcast or YouTube video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel and share this with a few people, and it would really mean a lot to me. So today we're going to talk about a deal that I did in Delaware. I think it was $22,000 wholesale fee or something like that. It was 200 Pilgrim Road, Newcastle, Delaware, 19720. The house is a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1025 square foot. The way that we found this deal was through Google advertising. So we bid on Google for various keywords: sell my house cash, sell my house fast. And the seller clicked on one of our ads after searching a specific phrase, and she landed across our ad. And she clicked on the ad, went to our website, filled out an information form. She was pretty motivated to sell for the fact that she had a tenant in there that was non-compliant and was giving her a bunch of trouble. We ended up negotiating a deal with her and we didn't sign it up right away. It took about a month to do the deal, but ended up negotiating $77,000 purchase price. Ended up finding a buyer for $99,000. So $22,000 profit in that case, which is awesome. And we thought this was going to be easy. But what happened was we got under contract and we got the seller to agree that she was going to get the tenant out before we bought the house, which is excellent. Dealing with tenants is never fun. They weren't paying. The owner knew that. And she said, I'll get the tenant out for you guys. So we waited like 4 or 5 months for her to get the tenant out. So I put this property out to one of my best buyers in Delaware, and he said that he'll take it sight unseen, no need to see it. And he ended up signing the assignment agreement for 22 grand. And we thought we were going to close this thing in a matter of a week because we thought title was clear, but it wasn't clear. The property was still owned by the seller, but for some reason the deed was owned by the bank, because she bought the house from the bank and the bank never transferred the deed, or the bank never recorded the deed. The title was like, we need to wait for this to happen. So we had to wait another month. We ended up closing the deal. It was a $22,000 profit from Google. So what are some lessons that I learned on this deal that I can pass on to you? Well, first lesson is simple. If you're really good at Google ads, you're going to get fairly good leads when sellers have a high intention on selling. People reach out to you with Google ads. You're not cold calling people. You're not texting them. People are calling you saying, hey, I want to sell my house. So generally speaking, not all the time, those leads are going to be a little bit more motivated and a little bit more antsy to do business quickly because they're reaching out to you. So that's lesson number 1. Google ads can be very profitable. Number 2, every deal is never going to be a layup, right? There's always something with deals. In this case, it was problem A was the tenant, which we had to wait for her to evict. And problem 2 was the deed wasn't in her name, so we had to wait for the bank to clear that up. Every deal is going to have problems, right? And the better you get at solving problems, the more money you're going to make. And the third lesson here, and the last lesson, is that when you have a really good idea and you have really good knowledge on a specific market and you have great buyers, you can form relationships with these buyers and they will pay you very good prices for your properties. And in Delaware, at least, people buy sight unseen. So I literally never went to this house. I think I spoke to the seller maybe once, and I sold this property. Our company grossed $22,000 in revenue, and we had some expenses and commissions. And I never stepped foot in the house because I have relationships with buyers and I know the market, and we're able to buy and sell properties completely virtually with great buyers, and we never have to really get involved in terms of going to them. So get really good at your local market, form great relationships with your buyers. And when you have good buyers, you don't even have to email them. You can just text and say, hey, I got this house. I'm not blasting it out to start. If you can do this price, I'll sell it to you with no competition. And you obviously want to mark that up a little bit because you don't want to leave too much money on the table. You're able to do this without having to ever go to properties. So definitely want to work on building a good buyers list after you have leads. Don't do it before you have leads because then you'll have nothing to sell these people. And that's our deal. So 200 Pilgrim Road, that's the skinny on it. So hope you got value. If you did get value and you're in Delaware, the Hudson Valley, Reno, or San Diego, and you have a house you want to wholesale with me and we can JV together, email me, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com, and I'll see you on the next real estate investing deal breakdown, aka the REI deal breakdown. Take care.